Hello everybody, it's me, your favorite psychopathic split personality, Yami Marik, also known as your worst nightmare created in the flesh. Have you ever read one of those Yu-Gi-Oh fanfics where the author clearly has no frigging clue about story structure whatsoever, and they end up making me and the Pharaoh long-lost brothers, and then they completely forget to stick any card games into the plot? If so, then you'll find X-Men Origins Wolverine to be extremely familiar territory, as it plays out precisely like a fanfic gone horribly wrong. I won't beat around the bush, but this film is B.A.D. bad. It's so butt-numbingly awful that it makes crucifixion look like an appealing pastime. I love a good crucifixion as much as anybody else, but Wolverine gives me such awful mental stigmata that I can literally feel my inner child being sucker-punched in the gut. It's like having Stan Lee come up to you and go, "Hey, what's that over there?" And when you turn around to look, he bends you over and shoves a hardback copy of Amazing Spider-Man straight up your rectum. I mean, they basically took every single cliched action movie and stuck the word mutant in front of the title and expected us to be impressed. It's like they superimposed Hugh Jackman's face onto Sylvester Stallone's body in Mutant Rambo and hoped nobody would notice. Look everybody, it's a scene from Saving Mutant Private Ryan. Isn't that just exhilarating? But of course, the viewer is never given enough time to notice the similarities because the characters spend about 5 minutes in each location before it is inevitably blown into several thousand pieces for no good reason. Hey, remember that scene in X-Men 2 where everything just exploded? Wasn't that the most memorable thing ever? Oh wait, no, the reason people liked X-Men 2 was because it treated the characters with respect, rather than telling a story that's been ripped off from countless other films which star Steven Seagal. But let's talk about the characters, because every good movie needs some memorable characters. Like this guy. Who the f*** is this guy? I have no idea. I don't even remember him being in the movie, and that's probably because he was in it for 5 seconds, just like every other character that isn't played by Hugh Jackman. Seriously, every single freaking mutant in this film serves only one purpose, and that is to tell Hugh Jackman how to get from point A to point B, so that he can repeat the process ad infinitum. Here is a typical scene from the movie. "Hey, Gambit, I am Hugh Jackman. It sure was nice of you to cameo in my movie that is about me. Hello, Hugh Jackman, I am Gambit. My mutant power is the ability to have an accent that keeps randomly disappearing. Hey, could you tell me how to get to generic mutant location where there are mutants?" "I certainly can. Thank you. I'll be going now. Hugh Jackman away!" I didn't even notice that half of these people are actually mutants. One of them has the power that's like the ability to use kung fu or something. Since when did being proficient in martial arts become some sort of mutant power? Hey, I'm fairly good at playing hopscotch. I must be a f***ing mutant. And there's this one character played by Ryan Reynolds that everybody seems to be throwing a hissy fit about because they raped him or something. Personally, I think it would be rather amusing if somebody were to rape Ryan Reynolds. But that's beside the point. At the end of the film, his character is given the powers of every single mutant in the whole friggin' movie. Although they taped his mouth shut so he couldn't use Gambit's amazing phony accent power. But he has these swords that come out of his arms just like Wolverine's claws. So I guess he not only gained a bunch of powers, he also grew these ridiculous sword-shaped bones out of nowhere. I mean, Wolverine has claws growing from his hands. It makes sense. Why the hell would anybody develop sword-shaped bones? There's a difference between being a mutant and being Baraka from Mortal Kombat. In fact, the final scene in the movie is essentially lifted straight out of a stage from Mortal Kombat. Except at least Mortal Kombat had a distinguishable plot and didn't make its characters invincible. Seriously, Hugh Jackman is like the friggin' Highlander or something. Everybody's trying to cut off his head, even though it's never actually made clear if that will really work. The first scene in the movie, somebody ties him up and points a gun at his head and pulls the trigger. And in the next scene, he's just sitting there, chillaxing with Sabretooth. Why the hell should I care about him if he could probably survive being fired into the sun? Hell, browsing 4chan wouldn't even faze this guy. In summation, I wanted to throttle the crap out of this movie. It was stupid, and everybody involved was stupid for getting involved with something so undeniably stupid. Oh, but hey, at least none of the lines come close to being as bad as, "Do you know what happens to a toad when it gets struck by lightning?" The same thing that happens to everything else. You want to know who wrote that line? Joss Whedon. So I guess Dollhouse wasn't his first dismal failure. Thanks for listening, Binky Boy. I'll see you in your nightmares. Toodles!